Hey guys, I hope everybody can hear me okay. I'm gonna actually share this to see if anybody else wants to watch what I'm doing here. Viewing, maybe I could spell that right. Okay, so while we wait and see just here if anybody shows up, I'm gonna go ahead and we are going to open the files up that I'm gonna need in order to texture this bad boy. I am just going to do a simple example. I'm not going to get really into the texture side of this. I will whenever I go into, I'm actually going to release this dress under a different account. But for now, I'm just going to kind of half-ass do the textures just for example purposes, so don't judge me for being extremely lazy. I'm just gonna be extremely lazy. One moment here, I'm trying to think. I'm just gonna call this tutorial for now. Save this. And we're going to save this. I hope this actually works okay because I'm on wireless connection, so I'm going to save this one. Oh shit, I don't know if that went through all the way. And we'll save this one. No, it didn't. Okay, so I need to pull that other one back up real quick here. Let me find what I was doing. I think it was this. No, it was the actual texture. No, I am missing this other one. I did a tutorial, a very quick tutorial earlier today. I recorded it on Twitch. And I wasn't able to actually do this from scratch. I ended up looking up some of my old items under Alter Ego and trying to explain how to do this from there. And I'm not exactly sure if it worked or not, or if anybody that watched understood anything that I was doing. So I'm gonna do this all over again, but this time I'm gonna actually do it with you. The only chat that I am able to see is one in Second Life, so if there is anybody actually watching while I record this, I can only see you talking in SL. I'm not paying attention to the chat on YouTube. And again, this is for Second Life only, so if you run across this channel and you're like, what the hell is this? This is creating a multi-face HUD in Second Life for a mesh object that has multiple faces. So I'm gonna just explain what I've done here. I've already opened the package, of course. Hey, Beanie. I've already opened the package, of course. From here, what we have to do is we have to make this mesh reflect that I am the owner of it. Right now, the creator of the mesh is still Momiji, so I want all of these pieces to say that Inertia owned it. And this is how you do this. You're just going to create a prim. You're going to make it pretty small. You're going to shove it inside of the dress. A lot of this stuff people are going to be like, already know how to do this. Some people might not, so I'm just starting from the very base, okay? So you kind of just throw it in there to where it's out of sight, out of mind. And you're going to copy it on all pieces. Almost done. Some of this stuff's going to get really boring, but I mean, you do it the same way every single time, and it's kind of repetitive. Okay, so now that we have created the root prim on each piece, you're going to select the mesh object, and you're going to press shift, and you're going to select the box inside, and you're going to press Control L to link it. Notice that the box in the inside is yellow. That is your root prim, and then your mesh piece is blue. It needs to be like that every single time. So when I do this stuff fairly quickly, but I've already gone through when I dropped these out. I changed the name as to what size they are. Okay, so to do this fairly quickly so you don't lose track of yourself, after you have linked to your root prim, go ahead and change the name of the mesh object to the size that it is, just to save time. So you don't have to be going back through this later on and you're like, oh, what the hell, what size is this? So you're just gonna attach the root, or attach the prim, and then change the name of the mesh object all the way across. You can also do this the long way if you don't like using shortcuts. Select shift select the cube in the middle and press link. It also does the same thing. I'm a shortcuts person, so I use shortcuts a lot. Okay, or not. What the fuck? Hang on a second, we got a problem. Either that or I'm lagging. When it's 2, I'm probably lagging. Yes. I will say to at least bear with the video. I am on wireless, so if the video begins to cut out or anything, I'll try to re-watch it and explain anything that might get lost here along the way from cutting in and out, because I already see it having a little bit of trouble here. There's 3 other people on computers in my house, so just kind of have to bear with me. Okay, so once this part is done, I'm going to go back and I'm going to select all the pieces, holding down shift and clicking each dress, and then I'm going to change the permissions to be no modify, copy, no transfer. And then I'm going to do edit linked parts. I'm going to go in, I'm going to click each root prim. And I'm going to make them transparent. Okay, so that's the base part. As you can see now, when you click on it, I'm the owner on all of them. What I usually do from here is I go ahead and I name the product. So you'll click home to go to the beginning of this, and then I go ahead and just name it. We're going to call this, I'm just strappy dress, whatever. And I'm going to copy that, and I'm actually going to just name them all the way across here real quick. This just gets everything set up for you. I do this the same way every single time. It's pretty much routine for me. I've been doing it this way for as long as mesh was around on the grid. So there we go. All that is ready. So from here, usually what I do is I'm going to go ahead and go in Photoshop real quick, and I'm going to make some textures. Oh, by the way, if you look in the description of this video, you can see which script that I'm using, and actually this is it right here, the BoSH Mesh Multicolor and Texture Changer. This one is 1,000 lindens. Now, on Toxxic, for Alter Ego, I have the Big Kahuna. But for inertia, I don't really work with things where I need the big one for the big script. I'll show you here. This is the one that I have on Toxxic, and this is the one that I was using as an example earlier today whenever I was showing another tutorial similar to this one. I was using this script. Now, you might look at this and you're going to be like, oh my god, 14,000 lindens, how the hell? Okay, you get like free updates for life also. So if he was to do anything to this, make it better or whatever, you get it. You don't have to purchase again. This right here is a friggin' lifesaver. I love this product. It allows me to do the HUDs that have a power button where you can just click it on and off on your screen just by clicking the actual HUD. It allows you to do multiple pages up to how many faces that are on a cube. So that's a lot of customization that you can make in one item. It also has the anti-res scripts inside of it to where people can't drop it on the ground. You can kind of read through this multi-material, whatever, all this. It does so many things that I don't even really use it for. But it's all explained right there if you really want to get like nitty-gritty with it. Looks like it will also resize. I've never used that before, so it does a lot of things. So just because you look at this and you're like, holy shit, 14,000, it is an investment, but it will really allow you a lot of freedom with your products, and I highly recommend it. So that's that. Let's kick into Photoshop real quick, and I'm just going to make like 5 textures just so I can show you how this works. I'm not going to make them really, really pretty. I'm just kind of throwing stuff on here just for example purposes, okay? So I don't want this tutorial to be too long, even though it's going to be pretty long. I already know that. Especially once I get in here and start really explaining stuff, I know I'm going to get like mad confused and shit. That's not what I meant to do. Okay, so I'm just going to pick some colors just to kind of use for now. I'm just going to make this real quick here. Might not even need all these colors. Probably won't use them all. Let's just keep it at that for now. Alright, so I'm just going to save these. This is actually the string texture, so I'm going to do string white. String purple. This would be where if I was actually going to edit this, everything would be completely fast forwarded, but I just didn't feel like editing tonight. I've got some things I need to get done still, and I was like, you know what, just do a regular thing and people can just deal with it. You can fast forward. The dress is white. And the dress purple. I'm saving everything as JPEGs. Some people use Targa files. I never have. I've always done everything with a JPEG for Second Life. But it kind of depends on what it is. If it needs to be, if it needs to be transparent in any way, shape, or form, then yeah, I'll use a Targa. If a PNG is not really what I'm looking for, but for something like this, it doesn't have any transparency whatsoever, so I go ahead and use a JPEG for it. Okay, so now we have these. There's actually, on this dress, there are 3 faces, but there's only 2 textures. So this is actually a really good example item to use. So I'm going to go ahead and load all of these in real quick here. And I guess while that's happening, let's go ahead and just make a basic HUD, okay? I'm going to go in real quick and just pull, yeah, we can use this. This is one of the inertia HUDs that I already have. It's very simple. It's not too over. Okay. And actually, I am going to make one more metal texture just so I can show you between the 2. Okay.
I'm going to give you a few bites because I'm eating it now. I can't stop myself.
Okay, Ken can't stop himself from eating a cake, so I have to take a few bites.
It is our favorite chocolate cake, and it tastes so damn good.
It is good.
I'm like, I'm going to eat it all. Let me go give her a few bites before I eat it all, because I'm gonna.
This stuff is so good. I don't know if you guys have a Joe's Crab Shack in your area, but it's the shark
chocolate cake.
Like shark?
A bunch of layers.
I think it's I think they call it Shark Attack cake or something.
It. But get it. Trust me. If there was somebody, share one piece with them. It's freaking delicious.
Yeah, you should not eat it all yourself.
No, it's too much.
It's too much. It's very rich and it's very, very cakey. It's very yummy.
Probably the best cake we've ever had, right?
Yeah. I want this cake at my wedding.
Damn, how can we do that?
I don't know.
Yes, that would be great.
We're gonna have a Joe's Crab Shack catered wedding. Bring your crab too.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna eat it all.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, hang on. Sorry. If you saw this cake, you'd be like, girl, go ahead and eat that cake. Okay. My bad, that shit is so good. Wow. Okay, let me make these real quick. Sorry. I don't know how many people are watching, if anybody's watching, but that's funny. Okay. What I'm doing right now is basically I'm making the buttons for the HUD. This is how I do this every single time. So I just take color samples of the actual texture that I made, so you can see exactly the same textures. Everything is uniform. So I'm going to pull this out real quick. On this particular dress, you can change the dress itself, you can change the straps in the back, and you can change the metal. Those are the three faces that it has on it. So I've made 4 textures for the straps and for the dress itself, and then 2 textures for the metals. Which I remember when I textured this dress on Alter Ego, I remember grabbing the face for the metal is a pain in the ass, so we might have a little bit of problem doing that. I don't know. I can't really remember why it was. I think it's just internet's weird. It's how they brought it into SL. It's kind of weird. Okay, so basically that's it. This is the HUD that you're going to wear on your screen. You could click each button to change whatever texture you're wanting to change. I'm going to put a little light effect on this just because I can. Alright, there we go. And we're ready to bring this in world. Something there that maybe someone will ask about, so I'm just going to explain it. You see the pink lines that are showing up when I move things all around this? Those are smart guides. You guys can turn them on by going to View, Show, and put a check near next to smart guides. This is a freaking miracle. Like it will line everything on your screen or your document rather perfectly. Let you know, that's how I do that. And if I'm really not trying to screw things up, if I just need to go side to side, I hold Shift. Same with up and down, and I don't want it to be free to move wherever. You just press Shift and it's locked on that axis. So that's how we do that. Okay, I'm gonna come back over here. I see I have a lot of it. Yeah, it might. No, I think it is called the shark attack cake. It is heart attack cake. It will give you a heart attack at some point in your life, but I think they call it shark attack. I think it, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so we're just gonna load this in real quick here. And I'm gonna sort this again by most recent. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna put the HUD texture on the actual HUD, which is just a prim. Just res a prim out. From here, I'm going to add the buttons to the HUD. So you just create another prim, make it small, and you're going to shove it in here on the front. Alright, there we go, like so. Pretty much cover the entire button so you can't see anything. And we're just gonna rinse repeat on all of the buttons on the front. I wish I was able to do this for people earlier today. It was very spur of the moment. Somebody had contacted me overnight and said that they watched one of my other videos where I was doing the more simple HUD tutorial, the one that just works with one face, and they were curious if I could help them do a more advanced HUD that had more than one face. And I was like, yeah, I could probably hop on Twitch. I wasn't really going to do anything today. I was kind of trying to take the day off, being at Father's Day and stuff, but I was like, no, yeah, I'll go on Twitch and see if I can't help you. And this is something that people have requested me for a really long time, so I'm glad I have a chance to come in here and show you guys this. What I did is I went ahead and I covered everything with little prims to make the buttons, and now I'm just going to make them transparent. I have them all selected. I went back to the edit menu under the texture tab and I made it 100. You click the next one over, it makes it transparent. So while I have everything still selected, I'm going to go ahead and press shift and select the big box. That's going to be our root prim, and then I'm going to click link. And that puts everything together. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and name this HUD. Which is usually for me, and same name as the object, just says HUD instead. Go ahead and change the permissions of the HUD, no modify, no transfer, but yes to copy. Okay, from here, this is the fun part. We are going to go ahead and drop the scripts in, okay? So I need to come over here and find where you put your scripts. Like I was explaining to people earlier today, the best way to think about this is each piece, the HUD and your mesh pieces need to have the license script inside. I recommend actually dropping that in first. Sometimes if you try to drop the license and the master at the same time, like if you were just to select it and then go like this and drop it, it'll screw up and it'll start giving you errors in local. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. It's one of those quirky things. So what I actually just have gotten in the habit of doing is just do it one at a time, just so you don't have to waste any time whatsoever, because this can be a pain in the ass. So how I remember how this needs to go is that the master goes inside the HUD because it's the boss and it's telling the mesh pieces what to do. So the slave goes into the mesh pieces and the master goes into the actual HUD. So we're just going to slide that over like so, and we're going to do that for all of the pieces. So you're going to drop your license script in, and you're going to drop your slave script in. And we're going to do that all the way down the line. This cake is calling my name. It's like, Toxic, eat me. I can see it out of the corner of my eye, and it's just like, eat me, eat me. I want to, but I'm going to wait. I'm not going to be rude and start chomping on cake in front of you guys. Alright, so all that is now done. If you notice, when you drop that script in, it actually changes your description. This is just, I'm not exactly sure what it means. I guess it just means that all of your scripts are loaded and everything is like, everything's good. It's a bit different on the script that, the 14,000 linden script, the ultimate script. This right here, you can actually change some settings on it that have to do with, well, for one, rezzing this stuff on the ground. You can change that, one of the numbers, to where people cannot, res your shit on the ground. The second one, I honestly don't remember. I don't remember because I don't work with this every single day. Like, you know, I work with skins now for the most part, so I don't do this very often. I can't exactly remember what the numbers meant. One of them is the anti-res, and the other one is something. I don't know. Maybe somebody will put it in comments that knows. It's just escaping my brain at the moment. But it doesn't matter because we're not working with the ultimate. We're working with the regular ones. So I'm just going to move on, okay? So this is where this gets a little tricky. You need to, with the multi-face HUD, we're primarily going to be working with no cards inside of the HUD itself. The regular, very simple HUD that you can use when you only have one face. You deal a whole lot with the name and the description on the object and on your HUD. The multi-face one still uses that stuff, but in a different way. So this is very similar to the fact that we need to name this mesh, but it's just going to get used slightly differently than the other way. So if you're familiar with making a HUD that's only deals with one face, then this should look really familiar to you. If you're actually trying to learn this particular HUD first, just pay attention. It has to be done this way or it will not work. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through here and I'm going to name each mesh piece. Now, you'll notice that I've opened up the edit menu and I've clicked edit linked parts. I don't want to grab the root prim that we created earlier. I need to actually just grab the mesh. The way you know you have only that selected is when you see that you're the owner but the actual creator is still showing. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to press shift and I'm just going to go through and I'm going to grab all of them at the same time. I still have only the mesh piece that Momiji created selected. Okay, so I'm just going to come up here, I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to name it a number. With inertia, I actually have a notepad over here to tell me what number I'm on. Now, this is really important. Oh, sorry, I had to change positions. This is extremely important. Do not name your mesh the same number each time you create a HUD. Okay? Because say, for instance, you create some pants and you create a top and you name them the same number. When your customer comes along and they buy your top and they buy your pants, they put the HUD on, it's going to change both because it's programmed to the same mesh number. Don't do that. Okay, so try to keep like a list. I used to do this. Like I literally used to do that, and I would copy it and I would save it to a note card with that number and what item I made with that number. I don't do that anymore. Actually, I think that's a big boo-boo. Don't really think that's incredibly smart. I think it actually takes more memory to read a number that long versus if you just went through and you were like, oh, this is mesh number 32 or whatever number that you choose to use. You could pick any number. You can start from 0, you can start from 1 and go forward. You can start at 50 and go up. You can start at 100 and go up, but I don't do this. I was relatively new when I said it was okay to do that. It really just causes a big, like, it's just a pain in the ass later. So try to pick something that is relatively small. I do believe I am on 30 for inertia, so I'm just going to name it 30, and I pressed shift afterwards. No, tab. So right now, all of these, the actual mesh is named 30, okay? Remember that number. So, what I should have done on this, but since it's just example, it's okay. I'm going to use this top row right here to be the dress textures, okay? The bottom, this middle row right here, I'm going to make that row for the straps in the back. I'll show you the straps here. If you click on this and you go to select face and you click on the dress, you'll see right here that the dress itself is face 0. I'm actually going to make note of that. I have these nifty little face 0 is the dress itself. Okay, so then I'm going to click on the actual strap. As you can see, it is face number 2. So I'm going to make note of that. And there is a third one on here, I think. Nope. This one was such a pain in the ass. I can't remember if it... I guess it's still one. Alright, we're just gonna... This pisses me off. These are... Alright, I'm gonna save that as... I could have sworn that was a different face, but maybe it's not. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've textured this. I guess it's 0. I could have sworn that was on its own thing, though. It is 1. You see that? It's changed. So, face... I knew it was something. I'm just going to call it O-ring. Okay? So there's three faces on this. Let me go back to normal view here. Okay, so here we go. Here's where the fun stuff comes in, okay guys? Try to bear with me, alright? I'm just going to take you through the process how I do it. Every single time, okay? So I'm going to go and I'm going to make a new folder for strappy dress. I'm very organized too, if you haven't noticed. Everything is extremely freaking organized in all of my avatars because it just has to be that way. I'm very anal about that. Okay, we're going to be working with note cards. So before I get into that, when it comes to the multi-face HUDs, used to be, if you would do the simpler version, you would type in here texture, and then your number of your mesh, right? And then you would press tab, and here your UUID for your texture would go here. So when you press this first button, it would texture the entire model because it was only one face. This is a step further. This is a little bit more complex. So this type of HUD is going to read note cards. So throw that other way completely out of your mind because it's not how this works at all. In order to set this up properly, you're going to want to select all your buttons on your HUD. So I've got the first one selected here. I'm going to press Shift and go ahead and select all of the rest of them. Okay, they're all selected. We're going to come up here to the name. We're going to highlight it. We're going to delete it. And we're just going to simply type in read. Okay, and then you're going to press tab to the next thing. So now you can click off of this. Okay, we're going to start working on the first button. So you go to edit link parts, you click the first button, and it says read. We're going to start off with note card number 1. Okay, so you just put a number 1 in this. You come over here to your note card, which, let me remind you to change the properties of. It needs to be no modify, no transfer. Okay, so you close that. You go ahead and rename this 1 and open it up. Okay, so back to my little note card here. The dress is face 0. Okay, so this is how this needs to be set up on every single note card. It needs to be the mesh name, which in this case on that dress it's 30. There needs to be a comma, no space. Your UUID for your texture goes in here, comma, no space, and then your face number. Okay, that's the way it's going to be set up every single time on every single note card that you use. Now, it is possible for you to get a more complex piece of mesh that would require you to do this multiple times. Just remember, nothing ever has spaces, okay? So if you need to, like, say for instance, here, let me just type this the regular way because it makes more sense to me. 30 was the name of the mesh, UUID, and then say for instance face 0. Then you need to texture something else on that same piece. You do 30 again, your UUID, face 1. and etc. You can go all the way down this in the note card if your mesh calls for it. This particular one does not. It's one texture per face. Sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes you can get a hold of something that is just, they've created to where you have complete freedom to changing every little freaking face. I mean, there's some really complex stuff out there. Shoes usually are extremely they're open to give you a whole bunch of creative options. So but for this is pretty simple. We're only going to use one line in the note card, so you guys are safe. If I ever find a piece of mesh where I have to do the other way, I will try to get a tutorial up for it. But for now, we don't have to worry about that. So let's go ahead and just set up the first note card, right? So the mesh name is 30, and the purple texture is what we're going to need to grab. Dress purple, I just right click and do copy UUID. I'm going to paste that in there, and this top row again I was going to designate for the dress itself, which is face 0. Okay, you're going to save that. I just press Control S for anybody that maybe didn't see that. So make sure you've completely deselected your HUD, select it again to where you see the scripts, okay? And then you're going to take this and you're going to slide it in there. Make sure that it's registered, and if all goes well, it changes it. You do the same thing for every single button on your HUD. It doesn't matter if you have 3 buttons on your HUD. It doesn't matter if you have 80 buttons on your HUD. It doesn't matter if every single face of this cube is taken with a whole bunch of different buttons, every single face, because that's what the ultimate BoSH script would allow you to do. You could use every single face as a page for your HUD, but you do it the same way every single time. So we're going to go ahead and go to the pink one. We're going to name this note card number 2. What I usually do here is that I just copy this and paste it, change this to number 2. Go ahead and open it up and pull the pink, copy UUID, go in here, you highlight that, Control V to paste, Control S to save. Deselect, reselect, drag your note card. It registered, you click it, test it, changes it to pink. So I'm going to go ahead and finish just this top row here. Copy this, change it to 3, open it up, grab the white texture, copy UUID, go in here, highlight this, paste, save. And you can also, once you get into the swing of things, you can multitask. You can create all your note cards first. You can, whatever is more comfortable once you get the flow going and understand what you're doing. You can do this how, excuse me, I'm sorry. You can do this however you want. I've just found that what always happens with me, if I go too fast and try to do too much, I lose track of it and I'll screw it up. And then I end up sitting here looking at it and I'm like, what the fuck did I do? I don't even know what I did. And then I have to pull all the note cards out and start over. So I just do this the same way every single time. Like now, something's not right. Because it's not. Probably because I did not do. See? This needs to be named number 3. This needs to be named number 4. Talking too much. So you click that, changes it to white. Click that, should change it to blue. There you go. So that's the dress itself, right? We still have the O-rings and we still have the string, okay? So what we're going to do here is we're going to do the same thing. It's just going to have a different face listed, okay? So we're going to make this note card number 5. We're going to come in here and create note card number 5. Okay, so the face for the string was 2. So this will all stay the same except for the face and the UUID will change. So we're looking for the purple string, copy the UUID, paste, and we put a 2 here. 2. Save. Okay, there we go. I'm going to drop it in. You're going to do the same thing for the rest of the buttons on that row. We'll go ahead and test this out real quick. Yep, they're changing to purple. Yep, see that? Pretty nifty, yeah? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and real quick I'll do the next 3. You could just do this. 7, 8. Go back to this. Make this 6. Pink. There we go. See what I was about to do? Toxic. Okay, we're gonna make the next one for number 7. Somebody was asking me after I was done with that tutorial. They were like, "What's the biggest HUD that you've ever done? How many note cards have been in a HUD for you?" I think the highest note card version one that I have had like 200 something note cards. If you look at, actually, I can drop one from Pookie. Maybe I might be able to drop it. Maybe not. I might have to just wear it. But his get incredibly large because of the amount of customization he has on the nails. His HUDs are fairly extensive and very advanced. So let's go ahead and just finish this, okay? So there we go. We're going to let that save and we're going to go ahead and drop it in and then we can test it. Okay, so there's the purple. That already has a purple strap on it. So let's change this to pink. And we're going to change this to pink. Everything looks good. Yep, it's loading. Same with white. Oh, we got a problem over here. What's going on here? Why should not change? There it goes. I'm lagging. That's what the problem is. That's something else I was telling on the last tutorial. Whenever you're doing this, try to do this on a sim that doesn't have a bunch of shit on it. Make sure it's not using like a ton of resources. Like if you try to do this on mainland and your mainland has a boat and has all kinds of crap and scripts running, it's going to lag this up a little bit. It's going to make it a little bit harder for it to work. So try to maybe make your items on a sim that doesn't have a whole lot on it. I'm actually on my home region, which is just south of Alter Ego. There's not a lot of stuff here, so but again, I'm on wireless, so it's, I mean, I have birds and shit flying around, and there's plenty of scripts, so that's the reason why this is kind of hanging up a bit. So that's how you do that. Let's go ahead and finish this up with the metals here at the bottom. So I'm just going to click this. We're actually going to make this number 9 on the note card, and this one will be 10. So we can go in here and we can actually change this to 9. Okay, and that is going to be the silver. Right? Did I not upload it? I didn't upload it. Okay, we're going to copy this. We're going to Paste that in there, and according to my notes, that O-ring was number 1 on the face. Save it. Go back. We can drop that in there, and then I'm going to go ahead and just do the tin. So it's going to be the gold. There's the gold right there. I'm going to just paste that, press save, and drop it in. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click this, and there it goes. It changed it, and go back to the gold. It changed it. Okay, so everything on here is working. You can go back through and you can test. You can mix match all this stuff to make sure everything is working properly. And it is, so we're done. That's basically how you do it. It doesn't matter how many buttons you have on there. You only have a few. You do something that's kind of simple like this, only 4 colors, then that's how you do it. Or if you've made 40 colors, you're going to have 40 buttons on the front of your HUD, and you do everything the exact same way. One thing before you can package this stuff up, since you have tested that everything works properly and everything is changing textures properly, before you box this up, you need to erase the license script out of every piece. It will make it no modify, no copy, no trans, and you will not be able to, oh shit, don't do that. You won't be able to put it into a box. So make sure that you have deleted all the license scripts, and wait for it to load before you press the delete button, or it will delete the entire piece of mesh, which I will go retrieve from the trash can in just a second. There we go. There we go. Okay, so you have all of this set. Everything is still working. Yep. So you can, I'm just going to take one of these because I am going to work on these and be a possible release soon. The only bummer thing for me, really, excuse me, that this certain package doesn't offer hourglass, so I'm wearing the hourglass body, so this is going to look a little bit strange to you. There's probably going to be things poking out, but there's no hourglass size. So, oh, hang on a second here. Maybe I can do this. Yeah, my boobs are still popping out. I don't really want to go on YouTube with all that going on. 1 second. There we go. We're fixed. So, let me just show you here these last steps, and then you can go on your way, maybe, if my stupid HUD will come off. I'm going to take a copy of this, and basically you just right-click Attach to HUD. I always do mine on the center to where it shows up right there. This is actually backwards, and so I'm going to press Control to bring up the rotation. You can tell that where the buttons are because they're blue. They're always going to be blue if you set this all up properly. Have the big part, the big box be your root prim, the rest of the prims are the blue. That's how you tell. So you just rotate this one more time. That's how you know that it is the front. Or you can do like some special marking on the front or something for you to know. I don't know, whatever you want to do. Okay, so she's tripping. Let's see. Everything should still work. Forgive her. This looks like crap because it's not for this body, but here we go. So all is working even while she has it on. There we go. Everything is legit. Mesh works. Everything's good. So I hope you guys that helped in learning how to use a multi-face HUD and script. From here, all I would do honestly is you're done. I always save the note cards, like in each package they have their note cards saved. That of course stays with me. None of that stuff goes to your customers. What I would do from here is I would just pick each one up. I would put them inside the folder and get ready to do the vendor ads and package it up to go put it out for sale. So that's basically it. Anyway, I am available. If you ever need help, please feel free to contact Toxxic Rhiannyr and World. I will leave the correct spelling to my name below. If you guys want to see any other kind of tutorials, please let me know. I would be happy to square away some time to be able to come on and try to help. Hey, I do this because I remember being new and I remember nobody would help me. It's like some frigging secret in Second Life on how to do stuff, and it doesn't have to be that way. I am pretty open into helping anybody do stuff that, you know, they don't know how to do and I have experience doing. I'm totally open to it, so by all means, if you need help, just shoot me an IM and let me know, and I will do my best to see to it that it gets done. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you guys ever want to follow me or anything that I'm involved with, you can always go to my main website, which is alteregotoxic.com. That has links to everything that I do. I do a lot. So just if you're curious about me, that's how you find me. And of course, Alter Ego in Second Life is my store. Inertia in Second Life is also my store. It's a side project. Pookie is also half mine, so if there's anything on my sim that you guys find interesting, then come on over and have a look around. Anyways, I am off here to go eat my cake. Love you guys. Thanks for watching, and I really, really hope this helped. Okay, bye-bye.